Hello, everyone, and welcome back finally to another episode of Pennywise 2 Cents. And today we're gonna. Today is New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. It's about 10 a.m., so it's before any sports games start, so that's good. Before anything starts today, I just wanted to go over, just how the NHL and the NBA are doing, in terms of, like, the standings and everything. Uh, at the end of 2023. Um, NFL is a completely different story. It's so crazy that it needs its own video. I'll get to it. I'll probably upload that tomorrow after the 14 games today, I think. Yeah, that's a lot. First, the NBA. So the in-season tournament happened. It was okay. Like I there wasn't not much thought about it. Like I didn't watch much of it. Like, it's interesting that the games count sort of towards the regular season. I think they're part of the 82 games that are played normally. But like the teams are separated into groups and stuff. It's okay, like whatever. Um, not not the worst idea in the world. Like the trophy's size full. Um, not my favorite. Um, just like the regular NBA Finals trophy, because that thing doesn't look that great either, to be honest. Um, uh, the Lakers won it, because why wouldn't the Lakers win it? um, which is funny, because they don't really have that good of a record right now. Uh, yeah, it started really well. I think the Bucks started off undefeated, so good for them. I think they were like, what, like 7-0, 8-0 before they finally lost. Um, yeah, it's always fun seeing a team go undefeated for a long stretch to start season in any league, honestly. Um, and yeah. Um, so looking at the standings, uh, in the East, Boston leads with a 25-6 record, although they just barely beat the freaking Pistons in overtime. We'll get to them later. Milwaukee has 24 wins and 8 losses. Um, they're doing well with the addition of Damian Lillard there. Hasn't done as much as some people were expected, but he's fine. Sixers are 22-10, doing just fine without Harden. Tyrese Maxey is turned into a real steal of a pick from first round a few years ago, late first round. Orlando surprising everybody, 19-12, leading their division and overall being one of the more exciting teams. This is probably what a lot of people thought the Pistons would be at this point, but again, we'll get to that. Miami coming off finals appearance last year, 19-13, not too bad. Cleveland's at 18-14. Um, that first round loss last year was not great, and there were plenty of Donovan Mitchell rumors in the offseason, but thankfully, that core that was pretty good last year until the playoffs is doing fine. Or at least okay. Like, it's still a bit too early. Like, a lot of it's just really cluttered. How the standings are. Indiana, I almost said Indianapolis, is 7th with 17-14 record, and the Nets are 8th with 17-15 record. I think they're on a 3-game losing streak, which is not great. Um, although they did just get Anunoby from the Raptors for Quickly and RJ Barrett. I'm surprised they trade Barrett, though there had been rumors about him getting traded for years, so I was like, wow, they actually pulled the trigger on him. Kind of surprised they did that, but okay. Um, We'll get to the Raptors in a second. Um, Brooklyn's at 15-17, so I guess Mikal Bridges isn't doing that great. Whatever. Um, Basketball out of the four major sports is probably the one I watch the least, so whatever. Bulls are at 15-19. Um, Apparently they're doing really well with no Zach Levine. But when he's there, they're not doing as well. So trade him, Chicago. What are you doing? Um, Lakers at 12-19. That team is just so aggressively mid, and now they're even worse. Yeah, wait. That 2021 conference finals run seems like a fever dream at this point. Toronto's 12-20. They did just beat the Pistons. Fine, or they did lose to the Pistons, which is just sad. Pistons finally won a game. Uh, and that was after they traded Anunoby. So yes, mm, so immediately feeling the negative effect of that trade. Uh, Charlotte 7-23. They're just bad. They're just really bad. They have no talent outside of LaMelo, I think, and like a in legal battle Miles Bridges. Um, LaMelo's been hurt. They're just not great. Um, Washington System 25. They're also trying to be bad. They pretty much sold their entire team. Um, Jordan Poole is progressed horrifically, which is sad. Um, and yeah, and Detroit, oh boy. So they started 2-1, and they lost 28 straight games. 28. That is tied with the historically awful and infamously awful 2015-16 Sixers for the second longest losing streak in any of the four major professional sports. 28 games. The only one that had a larger streak was the 1940s NFL Chicago Cardinals. Yes, they played in Chicago. Who over the course of 4 seasons lost 29 straight games. Yes, the seasons in the NFL back then were really short. So yeah, that just isn't they're on pace for even with the win tonight or last night or the other last night. They're still on pace for the worst winning percentage in the Big Four sports leagues history. Um, well, apart from the winless NFL teams, but somebody did an analysis on this Pistons team, and even though those teams ended up with a worse record, the Pistons are still in a much worse spot than those teams are in terms of, or those teams were in terms of like point differential and other stats like that. As for the West, the Timberwolves, I already clowned on them for that Rudy Gobert trade. Um, where are all the haters now? They're 24-7. Speaking of where are all the haters now, Oklahoma City, man, did they rise up quick. 21-9, Shea's looking like a superstar good for them. Denver 23-11, still being good. Clippers have been red hot lately, 19-12. They've only lost one game recently. Sacramento is still doing good, 18-12. Um, Hope they can do better in the playoffs than last year, like the Bean people. Dallas is doing pretty good, 19-14. Um, I guess with a full season of Luka and Kyrie, their chemistry is better. So good for them. Pelicans are 18-14. The whole Zion thing is still kind of in limbo. He's like doing better, but like still kind of wants out. Whatever. Um, Phoenix, you guys are so mid. 16-15, not great. Eighth in the Western Conference. Lakers, despite winning the in-season tournament 17-16, um, just and LeBron is like he's still out there doing stuff, but like you can tell that the age is still getting up to catching up to him. Um, Houston 15-15, very impressive. Not expecting them to be this good, this quick. Huge development from some of their guys. Good for them. Warriors 15-17 again. It's, like I don't know why they thought people that old would succeed, but okay. Um, Steph's still out there doing stuff. Clay is just horrible. Draymond's bad and also very dirty still. Like, yeah, Draymond just as much of a veteran as he is in the locker room leader, like he needs to go. He's actively making them worse by doing those dirty plays. Utah, who was arguably the breakout team of last year, or one of the breakout teams of last year, only 14 and 19, and they still have time to turn it around. It's fine. Memphis 10-21. What the heck happened to you guys? Um, John Morant, I guess, is still being distracted by the whole gun thing. Um, I think he's doing okay, but like the rest of the team is just bad. Portland 9-22. That made sense. They pretty much sold in the offseason, so that made sense. And San Antonio 5-26. Guys, what are you doing? You're like, as everyone says, you're completely ruining Wemby's rookie year, and probably gonna cost him the rookie of the year. I don't know who would win it otherwise. Uh, Maybe one of the Magic's pits or something. I don't know. Either way, um, yeah, San Antonio, you guys, what is going on? Like, Pop, you need to retire. Like, honestly, I feel like you should still buy at the deadline because you guys need talent. Like, Wemby can't do it all on his own. He's doing well, but like everyone else is garbage. So, yeah. Um, so overall, NBA is as usual for this early for this for at this point in the season. Um, it's pretty cluttered. Um, in the middle of the standings there. There's the clearly obvious bad teams: Charlotte, Washington, Detroit, San Antonio, Portland, kind of Memphis. Um, I guess you could throw Toronto on that list as well. Um, yeah, I guess Atlanta. Uh, and there's the clearly good teams as well: Boston, Milwaukee, Philly, Denver, OKC, Minnesota, Orlando, LA, Clippers, Sacramento. Yeah, so excited to see how this goes. And if my sisters do well. Um, uh, I hope Boston can like not have that close of games against the freaking Pistons. So otherwise, like if they're, yeah, I know Jalen Brown was injured, but still, either way, like, dude, you can't force, you can't have the freaking Pistons force you to go to overtime. Like, what are you doing? Um, I feel like it would be either them or Milwaukee, but I hope we can at least make it to the conference finals, sisters. That'd be really cool. As for the West, again, like Denver could definitely go far again. But and Minnesota is up there, but like they don't have as much playoff experience except for I guess Gobert. Um, Another team doesn't have as much playoff experience, but I do believe in them a lot. That's OKC. Um, although uh, although I'm a Sixers fan, um, my final prediction is going to be Milwaukee and OKC. Um, Man, this OKC team is just impressing me so much right now, and I really believe in them. As for Milwaukee, like you got Giannis and Dame, like why not? Why not? I feel like it's probably gonna be another. Uh, Probably. I mean, like if we lose to the Bucks, I wouldn't in the second round. I wouldn't be angry. Like, I wouldn't be too happy because we lost in the second because we were losing the second round again. But like if it's to a team like that, like I won't complain unless it's like unless we just collapse like we did last year against Boston. Because right now we're the 3 seed, Milwaukee's the 2 seed, so we would face each other in the second round. So I would not be too mad if we lost to them. So yeah, that's my finals prediction. Milwaukee OKC. Had to pick a winner. Mm. I'm sorry, OKC. I believe in you a lot, but I'll take Milwaukee in 7 in that series. Then we go to the NHL. Some teams there were expected to be at the top, some teams that were very not. Rangers lead the entire league actually in points with 51. We team to get over 50 at this point. 25 9 and 1. Also lead the Eastern Conference in the Metropolitan Division, obviously. Second in the East is Boston at 21 7 and 6. Third in the East, Florida 22 12 and 2. I don't know, finals appearance, Boston. Going back to Boston for a second. Uh, Bergeron and Krejci both retired, so a lot of people were expecting them to be way worse than they were last year. I mean, you can't really get much better than last year because that was ridiculous. But they're pretty much wrong, doing pretty good. Not that great in overtime, but okay. I mean, if that's your biggest flaw, then like, who cares? Florida, 22 12 and 2. I don't know if that finals appearance. They were the ones to beat Boston. So yeah. If the season keeps up like this and Florida faces let's just say Florida faces Boston in the second round, that will be a barn burner. Uh Fourth and East is the second seed in the Metropolitan, that's Carolina. 20, 13, and 4. Um that is pretty good. Uh they're they've had injuries recently. They just waived Anthony Raza or cut him. I don't remember. I don't know what that was about. Their goaltending is not great. And they've had some injuries and some of their top guys have declined because of injuries from previous seasons. So yeah, that's not the greatest. Let's see. Even for me, this was a surprise. I'm surprised the Flyers are this good. 19, 11, and 5. Actually tied for the third seed in the East in the Metro. I mean, um, tied for the fifth most points in the Eastern Conference, but they do hold the divisional tiebreaker over the Islanders, which we'll get to in a second. Um, So yeah, the Philadelphia Flyers are fifth. A lot of people were surprised. Um, I'm not. We have like the best penalty kill in the league, and somehow despite having the worst, like arguably the worst power play in the league, like out of the teams in the playoff spot, we have by far the worst power play in the league. Like I think the only teams that are worse are like Chicago and Columbus or something like that. Yeah. Um, sixth is Toronto. Well, 13 in the Atlantic. They actually have the points, seventh most points in the Eastern Conference at 17, 10, and 7. That's 41 points. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 41. Um, oh boy, these guys just always have to win in overtime. Like at one point, I think they had 5 regulation wins, which was like fewer than the Sharks at one point, which is sad. They might still have fewer than the Sharks. I don't know. But yeah, they just like to give their fans heart palpitations. You ever seen Steve Dangle? You know what I'm talking about. Um, as for wild cards, Islanders, as I said, are actually tied with the Flyers for the third spot in the division, but lose out on the tiebreaker, so they currently have the first wild card spot at 17, 9, and 9. Um, so good for them. The Devils and the Capitals are tied for that second wild card spot. Washington does have the tiebreaker at 17, 11, and 6, while the Devils are down at 19, 14, and 2. I honestly expected the Devils to be a lot better, but okay. Like, guys, are you good? I know they've had some injuries. I think Hughes has been out. I think Heater's been out. Um, but they, you know, they should have time to patch this up and hopefully do well. Tampa's at 17, 15, and 5. You guys have gotten too old. Like, kind of like the Warriors. Like, you guys are now aggressively mid. Um, like you're still like close-ish, but like you guys gotta step it up. Pittsburgh, they've been on a tear recently, 17, 13, and 4. They started horribly. Um, absolutely horribly. Um, so that happened. Yeah, Tampa or Pittsburgh, I mean, they're doing well ish. Uh, Christian Carlson has been okay, I guess. Detroit 17-15-4. Flyers played them twice recently. First game was pretty easy win, and the second one was they were the Red Wings were up 5-1 at one point. We came back. They took the lead 6-5. They tied at 6 and then won it in the shootout. Just Carhartt starts and shootouts and overtime. Anyway, uh, yeah, the Red Wings they're like kind of mid, 17-15-4. Eisenman continues to put people on waivers and nobody gets claimed, as always. That guy's mad. Anyway, Montreal 15-15-5. Pretty much the most mid team you can possibly have. Um, literally Hockey 500 on that one. Uh, Buffalo 15-18-4. What happened to you guys? Columbus 12-18-8. I mean, they were one of the worst teams in the league last year, so I'm not too surprised about that one. And Ottawa 13-18-0. What happened to you? I guess that I guess the Brinket wasn't the only one that was distracted by that whole owner situation in the offseason. Because it seems to have gotten in everyone's head and like really distracted them from doing well, or maybe it's just something else. I don't know. And for the West, Vancouver of all teams, well, they're actually tied with Vegas for the best record in for the best the most amount of points in the West at 49. Vancouver 23-10-3, Vegas 22-10-5. Yeah, this Vancouver team is really good. At one point, they had like 5 people in the top 10 for points or something like that. Hughes, Besser, Patterson. Although Patterson's been traded recently for some reason. I don't know why. JT Miller's been there. Brock Besser's been there. Uh, yeah, Hughes, Besser, Patterson, Miller. Um, Denver's been really good. Casey DeSmith has been surprisingly really good as a backup. Good for him. Um, he was kind of bad with Pittsburgh last year. At least he wasn't that good. Um, but yeah, they're really good. Um, Vegas is, as usual, very good. They were the last undefeated team in the NHL this year. I think they won like 7 games in a row before losing. 22-10-5, not bad at all. Los Angeles is the sixth best team in the conference at 28-5. Uh, yeah, there's a lot more. Um, Western Conference is a lot more top heavy, but less deep compared to the Eastern Conference, which is not as top heavy. Well, it's extremely top heavy at the very, very top with New York and Boston. Um, but it has a lot of only three only three teams with only 2 teams with less than 15 wins, only 3 teams under 500. Um, as for as with unlike the Western Conference, which has 4 teams under 500, uh, and only, but they also have 7 teams with over 20 wins. So, yeah, um, LA 28-5, not bad at all. They started really well. Um, they have gotten a little bit slower, especially in overtime, it seems. Colorado leads the Central at 22-11-3. Winnipeg 21-9-4. Um, they're doing surprisingly well. Uh, they had that whole like thing in the offseason where a lot of people thought everyone was going to be traded, and then they kind of were, and also kind of weren't. They did keep a lot of their core guys, and it seems like that was their decision. Guessing Hellbut's playing out of his mind. Dallas has been really hot recently, 21-9-4 as well. Same record, funny enough. They are the fifth seed, the fifth best team in the Western Conference. So they would play Winnipeg in the first round if it started today, which it what which it doesn't and shouldn't. As wild cards, Asheville 2016 and 1. Desperate Shots moving to PM was a good decision, I guess. I'm guessing Saros is probably playing out his mind again. Yes, they're glad they kept some of their core ties, including Philip Forsberg. That was a good decision for them. Arizona noted 5,000 seat arena team is 1914 and 2, and has the second wildcard spot, the eighth seat. Um, they've been really good. Clayton Keller is continuing to be really good. Uh, their goaltending is like kind of mid, but like also like serviceable enough. St. Louis 18-17-1, not too bad, honestly. Um, considering how bad they were last year. Seattle 14-14-9. They did just beat Philly in overtime. Uh, that was an interesting game. Philly scored in the second, and Seattle scored late in the third, and then they won in overtime. Um, yeah, but they're doing. I expect them to do better, but they're like okay. Ish. Minnesota 16-14-4. Um, just kind of mid. Considering how the dead cap they have, it's made sense. Edmonton 17-15-4 and Calgary 14-16-5. Both of them start horrifically, so let's see if they're on the right track ish. At least they've been a lot better. Yeah, I'm 13-22-0. They had won 6 straight at one point, and now they're kind of ass. They're kind of crap. It's just bad. Chicago 11-22-2. I mean, outside of Bedard, they have damn near no talent. At least no developed talent, because that's like Torchinsky and Reichel and those guys. Um, seems like Kurachev's doing really well as well. Uh, other than those guys, like and Bedard, like they don't really have that many people. And their goaltending's still crap. And then San Jose, thankfully, it's not as bad as they were at the start of the season because my God, they were horrible. Um, of course they had to win against. Of course, their first win had to be against the freaking Flyers. Anyway, but now they're 9-24-3, which is still complete garbage. By far the worst record in the league. Um, but yeah, that's that's bad. That's really bad. Um, as for the NHL, oh boy. When it comes to the Cup Finals prediction, I'm gonna go Rangers Canucks on this one. Um, I hmm, uh Philly would have to face the Rangers in the second round, which I would not favor Philly in that series because the Rangers are really good right now. Um, like we can definitely take it to them, but I feel like the Rangers would win that series. Um, as for Vancouver, I do see them barely being Vegas. I feel like they can do that. They definitely could. Uh, and I feel like if that series happens, sorry Vancouver fans, you guys doing really good, but I think the Rangers will win that again, just like '94. Like they're just insane right now. So yeah, in terms of like, there's plenty of trade rumors in both leagues. Obviously, that Anunoby trade going on in the NBA right now, or just recently. Um, guessing the rumor mill is starting to heat up. Teams that are kind of mid but are looking to contend need to are looking to make moves. Which is why the Nets did that. Um, and the NHL, plenty of trade rumors. Some outlandish ones, some reasonable ones. Um, and overall, it's just been really good. So fun season. Can't wait to see how both of them conclude. Can't wait to see how wildly off my predictions are. And until then, I'm checking out.